Hi everyone. It's been 6, 7 months since I've last posted. The last post I did about my new job at Maurice's was my day one outfit. So I just wanted to give you, I wanted to give you some news. I got fired from Maurice's. And for me, it's been a really tough experience because it wasn't the firing. Actually, the day that they let me go, the manager, Alex, there was a burden lifted off my shoulder. Do you ever work for someone and have a target on your back? Well, I worked 6 months of hell with a target on my back. She was on some sort of leave from work when I was hired by the district manager and a couple other managers. And so basically she came back to work on time I started working there. And I knew right off she didn't care for me because she made comments. She always commented on my rate of pay, my compensation, and she always commented that I had a college degree and she did not. It was really, really, really bad. In my months working there, I was belittled. I really would go home and cry, and I felt like an inch high. I felt that was stupid, and Alex just made me feel terrible. I wasn't good enough, fast enough. And the way she said it was how she said it too at the time, but it was also her tone and her size, her slamming of hangers. I didn't learn the registers fast enough. And she would stand behind me when customers were there, and if I made a mistake, she'd sigh really loud, and at my previous job, she'd mention that and say, well, didn't they have registers? This is a supercomputer. It's so easy to learn. No. Their system would have been easier for me to learn, and I would have learned much faster. But when you're under stress and anxiety and you feel inch high and you feel like you're stupid and worthless because that is what your trainer, your coach, your manager is telling you, showing you, reactions that she did, you can't learn because it goes in one ear out the other. Anything I did was wrong. I folded wrong. I wasn't fast enough at the go backs. She'd time me. And she lied so many times about things that she said I did, but I didn't do. And, I watched some videos, and I like Maurice's I like the way they have it set up for training. I just wished I was trained properly. And I wish I wasn't made to feel the way I was. She did this mostly when it was her and I. And, around some customers, but not with the other two part-time managers. And, she knew it was 6 days in, I did a return. on some very expensive jeans. For instance, she was off taking her hour-and-a-half lunch, which she wasn't supposed to. She made me correct her times when she was supposed to go to the bank, come back, clock out for lunch, then clock back in 35 minutes later. Not her. No. She would leave, take off, hour and a half, come back, clock in, and then make me correct it so it only looked like she had 35-minute lunch. But anyway, and she did this 3 times a week. For me, when I was working with her. Anyways, this 6 days in, I did a return. Very expensive jeans. I did that perfectly. The lady wanted to reorder the jeans online, and I hadn't felt comfortable doing that because I had forgot the procedure to price correct online. Anyways, so I said, if you wouldn't mind, Alex was gone on her long lunch. And so I asked the customer, if you don't mind coming back, because I'm still new at this, we can get those jeans ordered, price corrected, and everything. She was fine with that. But as she walked out, she also took the jeans with her after I had returned them to a credit card. And I had set them on the counter. Well, Alex got back in from her lunch. She was very angry with me and sent me home after belittling me and saying some other things. And I can't even remember what it was. So I went home. I had a couple of days off. I cried those 3 days thinking, I did everything correctly. It wasn't my fault. This lady took the jeans. And lady did come back. It was resolved because Alex had called her and said, you blame me, which is fine. But, I got written up for that. But being sent home without pay, and two days later, I think I had to go back to work. She apologized, hugged me, gave me flowers, said she was in the wrong. Fine. And I thought at that point everything was okay. But a few days after that, she started back in again, much worse. And it just kept getting worse and kept getting worse. And she hired a new part-time manager who I loved the way she was handled. But see, Alex hired her. So she never was timed. She never was talked down to. She was always cheered. She was always given positive feedback by Alex, where me, it was always negative. She always had an attitude. And it wasn't just me. There was another girl there working. They got the same attitude, and she quit. She couldn't, she went and found other work. I couldn't quit. I have a family to support. I needed this full-time position, and she knew it. There were some other things she wrote me up for. It got so bad working there. I would go home crying all the time, and it got to a point halfway through that I even thought of suicide. I was like, I can't be this stupid and such a failure to my kids. I'm sorry, it's hard to go back. Have you ever, I've never been fired for one thing, but to have been treated like that, and I've worked for major corporations, I've worked with all males, I've never once been put through a hardship like that or talked to like that, ever. And the second time, and when she wrote me up the first time, I wrote back to her. Because when you get written up from Maurices, it's all electronic. They type stuff in the iPad on the hub, and you're supposed to, she just wanted me to sign it, because if you reply back to anything. It goes out to the district manager and corporate. I replied back 'cause I didn't agree with her. And then I got in trouble for that because she said, "Diane, you made me look like a monster." Well, and that's what I said, "You are. I didn't lie. That's the way you treated me. That's the way you made me feel." Well, I was still getting tortured. She loved it. You could tell. She always smiled. I mean, I'd say a prayer before work, out in the car. I'd say a prayer when I got to work in the break room. I'd always take my deep breaths, but I'd always leave crying. There's so many things that went wrong there. And she wrote me up a second time. And she listed all kinds of things that I suppose I did wrong. For instance, she lied though. She said she gave me an hour to do a window that I had set up wrong in the first place. But I set it up wrong because I was following her directions. She said she downloaded some paperwork into the library on our iPad to show how she wanted the front window. I went by that. But when she came back from her days off, it was wrong. It should have been the other one. And I said, "Well, there wasn't another one downloaded." And she said, "No, you were supposed to look on the calendar." So see, she switched to words. So on the second write-up, she said she gave me an hour to change it over with no, just to do that one job. And it took 2.5 hours or 3 hours, something like that. It only took 2.5 hours to redo it. But that's because I was helping customers. Our lids were coming into the store, and they were our top priority. And, I loved it. That was the part of Maurices I loved the most. The human connection with our ladies and their husbands or boyfriends, whoever came in with them. I mean, everybody was treated with kindness. And that's the way it should be in any store. But that's what Maurices is known for. So I didn't sign the second time I was written up because she lied. There were several lies in it. And then on top of that, after she had read me everything, she's like, "If you want to reply back, you can on this one." And then she stopped reading what you had written me up for. And then she picked her cell phone up, looked at it for some unknown reason, and set it with the screen down on her desk. And then she threatened me. She literally threatened me. She said, "I'm going to fire you in 2 weeks. You can step down. You're still going to be fired in 2 weeks. And these next 2 weeks are going to be the worst 2 weeks. I am going to put you through hell." And she said, "And even if you step down, you're still going to go through it." And she did. She lived up to it, but she was very careful this time. She didn't want, and, she was extra nice to everyone when the other girls were around. Some of them picked up on it because I think she actually forgot sometimes who was in the store. But she put me through hell, but it was longer than 2 weeks. She kept me for a little over a month after that, and then she fired me. I left that store, I wasn't crying. I knew I was going to be fired that day. I had a feeling. And I left that store, and it felt relieving, actually. I couldn't quit. If I quit, what would I show my kids? And it's been 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks since I was fired. It's the first time I think I've cried over it. I think it's reflecting back to the whole experience. of going through what I went through, the emotional abuse, the trauma, the harassment. And I wasn't the only one. Some of the new stylists felt they were being harassed and abused by Alex as well. One of the stylists even said that Alex made her cry a few times, and she told me the reasons why, and she said, I really like working for you because you're training me, and I don't feel like I'm stupid. You're actually giving me a chance to learn and understand that, what I'm doing. I've raised 5 kids. Everyone learns differently. And over the years, I've been a marketing manager. I've done all kinds of different things throughout my years, my work history, along with being a mother. So I know how to educate, I know how to train, I know how to coach. Because as a mother, that's what you do. You coach, you train, you love, you nurture, you empathize. Everyone's different in their learning ability. Anyways, I'm sorry. Look like crap. I'm crying when I wanted to do this first part. I didn't want to be crying. I wanted to look better. I kept putting it off. I don't know what I was afraid of. But it just, any of you out there, if you can relate, leave a comment. And I know I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of people out there that have gone through this or are going through this with their employer. And I am going to do a second video because once I was fired, I wrote a 4-page letter to corporate, several people at corporate level for Maurices, and I also copied California's Bureau of Employment for harassment, put a complaint against the manager, and the California side also wanted me to send a copy to the commissioner of something, and so I did that as well. So in my second video about this, I'll read that letter. I didn't set forth to make my YouTube channel negative in any way, because I've gone through a lot of things in life. My whole purpose for this channel was more lifestyle, hey, let's craft together, let's travel together. Just, I want you guys to be with my family. I've dealt with suicide, I've dealt with death, I've dealt with roller coaster emotions, now I'm being fired, employee abuse, I've been a teen mom, a single mother, I've done the dating. So that's one of the channels. I just want people out there, my channel, to be helpful to anyone and everyone. I know they say choose your niche, but I've had many years of ups and downs, and I've always pushed through and believed, said my prayer, and things stayed positive. But please subscribe to my channel, like my channel, but definitely leave a comment below. If you're working right now and you're feeling you're being harassed, abused, or belittled by your current manager, leave that comment below. If you've gone through that, leave that comment below. Because there's so many people out there that don't know what to do, and they're hanging on like I did because they needed a job. I'm currently not working, and which is fine. It gets me. I needed the break, the mental break, for one. But it gives me the opportunity to get back into my YouTube channel and back into my son's lives and deal with what happened. So I think I need to get over it and push forward and move on, and this video is going to help me do that. But this is part 1. I hope to do my next video within the next 2 days, and I promise you I will read you that letter that I sent to corporate. I did get a call back from HR, Human Resources at Maurices corporate, and they asked me some questions, and I'll let you know what the questions were and what I answered them. And that's it for now, but I thank you for listening. Doing this video has helped, because I've been meaning to it, and one of my doggies just passed. I've been meaning to do this for 2 weeks, and I've been putting it off because I was afraid. I'm afraid to be that failure. But this has helped, and it will continue to help. And I'll continue my channel, Not Crying, and add that, you know what, along with being a victim of suicide, a victim of employee abuse, I'm here to help anyone. I have an ear, and I can help you and educate you and get you through whatever situation you're in. Godspeed to everyone, and again, like, subscribe, follow. I do have an Instagram account, trying to stay current with that. You can find me on Facebook. I am on Facebook, and see my posts of all 5 of my sons. They're truly the love of my life. I want everybody to have a great night, and thank you for viewing my video.